Hello, 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 and welcome to Courageously Kind. I'm Maddie.
And I'm Liz. We're twin sisters and best friends.
Together, we share stories of especially kind humans doing especially kind things, in hopes that these conversations motivate and inspire you to be kinder to yourself and others. When we're not speaking with an incredible guest, we'll speak directly from our hearts about what it means to us to be courageously kind. Well, hello, and welcome back to the last mini episode of the summer. You guys, where did the summer go? I feel like every single summer feels so fast, but this one in particular, I literally feel like I just blinked. I feel like I just finished our last semester at school. It went so fast. Now, that being said, I'm a huge fall lover, so I am so ready for autumn. I'm ready for the cold weather. I'm ready for the trees to turn. I'm ready for all things pumpkin and apple and spice. I'm ready for it, but I am sad to see summer go. You know, I'm always sad to see it be over, but I also hate the heat, so I guess we'll take it as we can, right? We just gotta roll with the seasons as they come. We, like I said, are finishing up our mini episodes this week because the new season of Courageously Kind is just around the corner. We head back to school next week, and we worked really hard this summer to get our season done so that while we are in school, we can be more present on social media and all that and be able to just upload the episodes as we go. And I think that all of that hard work is really going to pay off. Next week, we're going to share a little intro video about the new season, kind of introducing you to some of the guests and explaining some of the themes we found this season. And then the week after that, we'll jump right in with brand new interviews for you. We say this all the time and we truly mean it, but these guests are so amazing. They're so inspiring. They're so motivating. We were so excited to talk to every single one of them. We really loved chatting with these guests, and we think you will love listening to these conversations as well. A lot of common themes we saw throughout this season, which we'll go over next week, but it was such a blast. It was such a joy, and yeah, it feels so good to be kind of ahead and to have had the time to create these episodes for you and get them all ready to go. Feels really good, and we still have a little bit of work to do this coming week just to get totally prepared, but to have a bulk of that work done is just so wonderful. So, as you may or may not know, Liz and I are college students, and we're going to be juniors this year, which is really exciting. We talked a lot about it when we went away to school, but we were really scared and really nervous to go away to college. We are really close with our family. We just really didn't feel, I guess, prepared necessarily. We felt really scared and really nervous about it. And something that we did before going to school and even while we were in school was we just looked for advice anywhere that we could find it. We talked to our friends that were older that had gone away to school and had done it before. We scoured the internet for tips and advice, and all of that really helped. But I think one of the biggest things is just sort of doing it, just jumping in and obviously trying to be as prepared as possible and get as much advice as possible, but then sort of just taking that advice and jumping in headfirst into this new and nerve-wracking but also exciting experience. And so what we wanted to do for this mini episode is just share with you some tips that we found to be helpful during our first year of college. So these are tips for people that are going to college for the first time, college freshmen, or going back to school, just things that we found to be helpful during that time in our lives. I'm going to break this down into a couple categories. First, I'm going to talk about just like things I found to be helpful during classes and during school tips. And then I'm going to talk about tips I found helpful when making friends and meeting people, and then just some general life tips in general that we have sort of found to be true throughout the past 2 years, and tips that have been shared with us by, again, other students that have done it, students that are older, advisors, counselors, all that good stuff. So school tips Obviously, if you're going to college, you've been through middle school and high school, so you've done the school thing, you know how that goes. But there are a few things that I feel like are specific to college that can be really helpful. Rate My Professor is a website that is amazing and that we used so often, and even switched around some classes based on what we saw on Rate My Professor. Essentially what Rate My Professor is it's a website where people can give professors a rating out of 5 stars. And they can leave comments, and there are different categories based on if they're a tough grader or if the workload is heavy, that sort of thing. Again, I found it super, super helpful. It's not always super accurate, and if you are like us and are going to a smaller school, your professors might not necessarily be on there, but we were able to find some, and it was very helpful just to know what you are getting yourself into and what you might experience ahead of time. Something I also found super helpful was during move-in weekend. So we moved in on a Saturday, and then Sunday was kind of full of activities. And one of the activities was you could go with a tour guide and bring your schedule, and they would take you to where all of your classes would be, where I was going before I got to class. And of course, I would say probably leave earlier than you expect. Try and get to that class earlier than you expect. Number one, to get a good seat, but also just in case if you get lost and need to look for that classroom. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, upperclassmen may seem scary, but I promise not all of us are. And if you really need help finding something, just ask, and people would love to help you find it. You could ask a professor, you could ask somebody that works there, or just ask another student for directions. They will be happy to help you out. You're definitely going to need to carve out time to study and do your homework. I know this kind of sounds like a no-brainer, but I literally had to pencil into my schedule, Tuesday nights is homework nights, or Friday nights, maybe not Friday nights, but maybe Thursday nights are homework nights, and these are the days when I'm going to work and just get caught up on work, maybe Sunday afternoons, whatever it is, but just carving out that time in your schedule to set aside for studying and homework. Then if you get it done early, you've got free time, but you just have that set aside time to study and do your homework and get your stuff done. Something that Liz and I also found super helpful is being really picky with your schedule. This might sound like a no-brainer, but your schedule is your schedule. That is time that you are going to be spent in class or not in class, and sometimes it's hard because you have required classes that you need to take, classes that are only offered at a certain time, and then there's only so much you can do about that. But we, as the semesters went on, we got exceedingly more picky with our schedules and, just making them work and fit for you. So, for example, I don't like classes before 10 a.m. and that sounds late in the day, I know, but I'm not up and I'm not firing as fast as I can. My brain's not working as fast as I can before 10 a.m. So we have been lucky to be able to be picky with our schedules and not have classes when we don't want to have classes. Of course, there are classes you have to take, like I said, that may be offered only at one time, but you're also paying for this experience. And if it is a really pain in the butt to get up at 8 or even 9 a.m. is pretty early for class, you're paying for it. So if there's another time that works better for you, do it. Take advantage of that. What's nice about college is that you are given all this independence, and part of that independence is choosing your own schedule and, obviously get done what you need to get done, but don't be afraid to be picky with it and pick times that work best for you. Also take advantage of your school's resources like the tutoring center. Go to office hours if you've got to. Send your professors emails. If you've got questions, ask them, I would rather ask a question than not. You know what I mean? It can be nerve-wracking to ask those questions, but definitely worth it to have the information you need to have. So some friend tips. A little disclaimer about these. We went to school, so we went away to college in 2021, and it was kind of a weird time in terms of COVID. COVID was still around and there were still restrictions put in place, so we were not necessarily able to gather in group settings like we can this year. And so it was a little bit challenging to meet people and make friends. The dorms were really sort of closed off. Nobody really, they say like open your door and make friends, and maybe that is something that's happening this year, I don't know, but that was not something that happened our freshman year. And the people on our floor really didn't talk to each other. We didn't really hang out with each other. I think due to COVID and COVID restrictions, there were times when, the common rooms, the sort of lounge rooms were closed off and were not open to us. So that kind of stinks. But we still were able to meet a lot of really amazing people our freshman year. And that's what I would say is just meet as many people as possible. It's okay if you don't click with everyone. It's okay if you don't find your best friend or your, best group of friends right away. Just keep an open mind and try and meet as many people as possible. You never know who you're going to meet. We ended up meeting some good friends at an event that was being held by student engagement, so just an event that the school was putting on, and just by talking to people, asking questions, and getting to know people can really, sort of break the ice and allow you to connect with and click with some awesome people and some awesome friends, for sure. But don't worry if it doesn't happen right away. I feel like we really didn't find that solid group of people until probably late in our first semester, early in our second semester. So give it time. It is worth it. And don't feel discouraged if you haven't found your best friends yet. Some other just general tips that I found to be super helpful and give me some peace of mind are really just, and I feel like this goes for anybody, not even just college freshmen, but it's totally okay to change your major. It's totally okay to transfer schools. I've had so many friends change their majors. I've had so many friends transfer in and out of schools just because they felt like it wasn't a good fit for you. So definitely, if something isn't working, if your major's not working for you, if the school's not working for you, don't be afraid to ask for help. I would say give it a lot of time. Give it, a semester or a year to really settle in and figure out if this is for you or not. And then it's totally fine to ask for help. Talk to your advisors, talk to your counselors, talk to other students, your family, your friends, professors you trust, and just take that time and evaluate what works best for you. College is something that you are paying for. It's not something that you necessarily have to do. So just, if something's not working for you, I would say try and give it a fair shot, but don't worry about, what other people will think. It's totally okay to change paths. It's totally okay to find a new path completely. Our lives are meant to be ever changing, and, if you've got to change something, don't feel bad about that. It's totally okay to do that. I feel like college has been such an amazing experience for me and Liz. It was really rough at first. We really struggled to make friends. We really struggled with homesickness. But some things to keep in mind are, your friends and your family are still around, even if you've moved away. In this age of technology, you can stay in contact with people all over the world, which is so amazing. And yeah, it's wonderful. Give it time. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And just try and be as open-minded as possible. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful semester, a wonderful year at school. Enjoy it. Feel everything. Feel every emotion. It's okay to feel anything you're feeling. Don't be afraid to reach out for help when you need it. And have just the best time. So again, last mini-sode of the summer. We are coming back with full-length episodes in a couple weeks here. We love you so much. Thanks for being around. We just turned 3 years old, guys. Courageously Kind just had its 3rd birthday, which is absolutely insane. We had no idea that this would be going on for this long, and there's no signs of stopping us now. So thank you all so much. We love you. Take good care. We'll see you back here real soon.
We'd like to give a huge thank you to Anna Waltz Landscape Contracting for their support of Courageously Kind.
Anna Waltz is a family-owned landscape contracting company in Berks County that has served Pennsylvania for over 35 years.
If you're ready to get your landscaping project started, visit Anna Waltz AnnaWaltzLandscape.com or call 610-916-7070.
Anna Waltz Landscape Contracting, beautifying Pennsylvania 1 yard at a time.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, feel free to share it with your friends, your family, or anyone you think might like it too.
And if you want to support the show, leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really does help. Or check out our merch store at courageouslykind.org. Take good care, and we'll see you back here real soon.